Hi everyone, welcome to this final review of the Red Sea Reefer 525XL. This tank is getting emptied in a few weeks, so this is the perfect time to give you a final review of the way that this tank has performed over the past, almost 3.5 years. So I've set this tank up in January 2016. So that means that this tank has been running over 3 years now, and I wanted to share my final opinions with you. So keep in mind that this is the first version of the Red Sea Reefer 525XL. I know that there have been some updates to it where they, as far as I know, changed the sump area a little bit, and they might have made some other tweaks as well. So you can look at this as a general review of the Red Sea Reefer 525XL. So starting off with the tank itself, it is a glass tank where the frontal glass is 15 millimeters wide and the side panels are 12 millimeters wide. And that gives it the ideal thickness to be strong enough to support the entire water column inside without having to add other pieces of glass to support it. So it is a rimless tank, as you might as well know. As you also might know that this tank comes without a light, so you have to attach a light yourself. I have chosen the Giesemann Aurora because I think it's an ideal combination of LED and T5s. But of course, there's also the Reefers Deluxe nowadays where you can where they're supplied with LED lights. So before I know they were supplied with Hydras. And I think Red Sea might be changing that into their own new Reef LED series. So you'll have to supply the lights yourself. The Overflow Box is kind of straightforward. As you can see, it's right here. It has a lid. Inside of that are is of course the two. So let's see if we can get in here. So there's the overflow box, which has the two areas where the water go in. So there's a main one and a spare one. Standard, they supply the Reefer with a single nozzle outlet. I have replaced that by a dual nozzle outlet, which is called a lock line. It's a very easy way to add two outlets instead of one, which will make it easier to direct the flow in the direction that you want it to go. So there's definitely an upgrade that they, I think they could make standard. I'm not sure they will, but I think that would be a very good upgrade for the future. You can of course take out these overflow panels to clean them when you want, and the construction of it overall is very nice. So they painted the back glass black. I think they've applied an adhesive to the back, which will make the tank look nice and black when you look through the front. But of course, calcium algae will overtake that rather quickly when you're having a healthy tank. So considering the glue they've used to keep the panels together, I think they've done quite a good job. It's a thick layer, but not too thick, as you can see right here. So that's just enough to keep it all nice together without adding too much of a black mass. So moving on from that, I'm using a Tunze care magnet to keep the glass clean, as you can see right here. This is the one. And of course you always need to be careful when you're cleaning the sides that you don't accidentally scrape off the glue. And as you can see right here, it's although it's a bit tricky to get the edges clean as well, it's pretty easily manageable without damaging it. So all around, it's good quality. As you can see. So the cabinet itself is made of wood, so there's no metal involved. At first I was a bit skeptical if this would be enough to carry this entire tank, but it has proven to do well over time. So let me open up the cabinets. So as you can see, it's a pretty standard internal. Let me turn off the pink light so it's a bit more natural. As you can see, the Reefer has a glass sump divided into two major compartments. One on the left where the return pump is, then an area where the water overflows, and then the main area, which is a large area where you can place your equipment or your microalgae, as you can see in my case. And then of course you can add the stuff here that you want. I know that the newer versions have compartments as well, so it's a bit easier to set up, for example, microalgae without the risk of them getting into your skimmer, for example. So I need to prune it down before it does. Then of course there's the auto top-off unit, auto top-off tank right here, which works remarkably well. Now and then you need to clean this little valve right here to make sure that this that it keeps working, but overall it works great. I've added some hard plumbing myself, so standard there's no plumbing inside this tank. You just have to use hoses to connect everything straight here on the I'll move to the left. So you need to use tubing to attach it there, but I've used some hard plumbing to keep everything nice and tidy. And of course there's room enough to add your own stuff, like for example this UVC unit and some lights if you want. You can use this knob to adjust the flow rate with the one that says Red Sea, which works well. You need some manual turning and twisting now and then to make sure it stays silent. So as you can hear, not completely silent at the moment. I just adjusted it this morning, but overall it works well. The closing mechanisms on the door are also pretty straightforward, but they work very well. So you can just close them, gives a little snap, and then it's closed. The right area of the sump or of the cabinet is a bit small, but enough to fit in the stuff you want in there. Of course I have a chiller in there which takes up a lot of space, but there's room enough to add your additives, whatever you're using. Put in the controllers and the adapters for your lights, and of course you could add one of these switch boards if you want. So overall, I'm very pleased with what the Reefer has given me over the past 3.5 years. I would recommend this tank to anyone looking for a good quality reef tank. So it has done very well for me, and yeah, it's a good way to end this tank. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you